The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions. It's probably best if you don't listen at all.
The Roaring Peacock Podcast.
Welcome, and you're listening to the Roaring Peacock Match Review. My name is Adonis. You know me as the Adelites on Twitter. With us is Ross from the Man on the Post podcast.
Hello, mate.
And small face merchant Alex.
Now then, you all right?
All right, guys. How was that game? Liverpool versus Leeds. First match back in the Premier League for 16 years.
I'm still not quite recovered. At full time, I had no idea what to do with myself, so I just went and walked around the garden for about half an hour. Literally just paced back and forth because I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, it was exhausting when it was proper breathless. So, like from the start, you just couldn't take your eyes off that first half. Normally, I've got some really crap takes to put on Twitter during a game,
Yeah.
but there was no chance of me even looking at my phone in that. It was just end to end. It was like five-a-side, like a five-a-side game. It's crazy.
Didn't Carragher say on commentary, didn't he, that this is like a video game, someone's controlling these two teams? It was.
There's a story of Bielsa after a game. He was so worked up that he stripped naked and lied down on the massage table. And that's exactly how I felt after it as well.
Just across the dinner table.
Stripped naked.
I'll be in the dining room if you need me.
I'm going for a lie down.
I may be some time.
If this is what the Premier League's like, I'm all for this because they can't defend. All teams like this, just wide open at the back.
Yeah, I don't know about every defence in the Premier League. I think Sheffield United might be a bit tougher. For example, Liverpool did concede 2 goals to Blackpool in pre-season friendly.
True, yeah. They spent £75 million on a defender and, 50-60 million pounds on a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I mean...
They looked lost.
We did have an unbelievable efficiency rate yesterday. I mean, it's quite astonishing. Night and day. Night and day. I don't want to bring XG into it because Alex is going to murder this topic. He doesn't like XG. But we had an XG of 0.3, and that surprised me a lot because we scored 3 goals and we had the ball in their net 5 times.
It just goes to show that it's an absolute bullshit stat.
Yeah, it made no sense, yeah.
Go on, rip it up. Go on.
Looking at the match stats, it looks like they dominated us.
It just feels like it's finger in the air. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure that there's data points that I don't understand. I'm sure I'm a bear of little brain and it doesn't just strike well with me, but it just feels like it's just a made up stat. Shots on goal, yeah, I can understand that because that's quite tangible. Goals, that's the only stat that counts, but XG just feels like it's made up by people who want to sound intelligent. Rant over, sorry.
Yeah.
Now you've got that out of your system.
I don't understand statistics.
We can go on the rest of the season now.
Yeah, that's it now.
Yeah,
regular listeners will know not to mention XG in future because you might as well just go back to this podcast and listen to that answer because it's not going to change. I did feel though after about 20 minutes that we were completely on top. We were bossing the game and they'd hardly had a chance.
Yeah, they scored the penalty, which was, we'll get into that as well. But yeah, we scored the fantastic equaliser and then we kind of dominated until they scored their second. We were on top,
but
a lot of the game.
But looking at the stats afterwards, I realised we didn't dominate. We didn't have so many chances actually, according to the statistics. So I was like, right, I've definitely got to watch this game again and find out why I had that, like why I was in that frame of mind. And I've counted the number of, let's say like opportunities or patterns of play. So instances where it could have led to a goal. And by the 20th minute, there was 9. And I mean, we can go through them systematically and we can talk minute by minute, but obviously that would be an extremely long podcast. But the thing is that after half an hour, I'd felt like I'd aged 3 years in this game.
Yeah. I was on the edge of my seat for almost 90 minutes.
I seem to have this natural rhythm of if we're competing, I'll be on the edge of my seat, leant forward. If we're behind, I'll sit back. Mm-hmm. So I've had an ab workout just watching this game. So yeah, it was good. But yeah, like you say, it was. I think for the first 6 minutes, and they got their pen. I thought, right, we're going to get kick shitless, and we're just going to have to get used to it. 3-8, big occasion. And then when Jackie Haradona, as he's known, kicks that, it's just
What a
unbelievable
goal.
skill. To take it past Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is a massive player, he's so good, and to take it past him so easily like he did, that's unreal.
England's right back, and then followed by England's centre back as well, skinning Joe Gomez on the inside. Fantastic.
Harrison has always had this ability to pluck a meteorite out of the sky with a soft feather-like cushion, and he's also been able to go around players as if they weren't there. What has always seemed to be lacking is that final pass or that final shot, and I think that was the real difference today. Is instead of hitting it out of the stadium, he's just slammed it past one of the best, probably the best goalkeeper in the world. See you later. Thanks very much.
Yeah,
I've always said about Harrison is that the more touches he takes, the less likely he's going to be successful. So I think with that, he's had less time to think about. Him and Bamford are similar in this, and we'll probably cover it later. But if he's got too much time to think, he won't do it right. But with this, he kind of just did it in one flowing move, and he didn't think, he just did. And the output of that was just brilliant.
Yeah, it was also quick. There was no time to think. You had to just beat those two men and just thump it.
It's unreal. I always think Harrison, whenever I drop anything and try to trap it with my feet, I just think he'll never break a phone in his life, that kid. He just drops it and just controls it with his foot.
Yeah, I think it was 3 touches, wasn't it? So he took it down, and then he knocked it past Trent like he wasn't there, and then he knocked it past Gomez like he wasn't there, and then slammed it into the goal. Very nice indeed. In fact, I saw a statistic that the most times Trent had been dribble passed in a game was 4, and he got dribble passed 3 times in that first half. And I didn't go back and look, but if it wouldn't surprise me if it was Harrison every single time.
Yeah,
Harrison and
aren't we? We haven't talked about the penalty yet and the clear Leeds bias of VAR. We've not actually read the rules.
So
did they actually check VAR?
I think they did, but I think they're under so much pressure to get it done quickly that I don't think they've taken into account the new rule.
Yeah, it felt like 5 seconds. That was it. Yeah, that's penalty.
Yeah, and it wasn't according
to the rules, I think it was Martin Tyler. He was the commentator that day, so he's the one who gets the signal to see if they are checking, and obviously they have to check anyway. But yeah, he said they are checking it. The check's over. It's a penalty. But we
even Carragher said it was harsh.
And you know that it's not a penalty if he's saying, "Oh, that's a bit harsh." That is. I'm not sure they deserve that. I can't remember what he said. I think it's outrageous or something. Given that. Yeah. But it's a meme, isn't it? That the world is against Leeds, and especially any kind of footballing authority or referee, just any kind of authority figure, hates us. And I did think that VAR wouldn't help us out, but I didn't. I didn't really think that it would take 2 minutes and 53 seconds.
This is life now. Get used to it.
Yeah.
But like straight after that, though, so I'm just looking at my notes. So that's in the 2nd minute. In the 8th minute, Costa's caught offside. He was unluckily offside. So our heads didn't drop at all. We were straight back on it, trying to get back on terms. So
it's a really calm finish, even though he was offside. He made Alisson move, didn't he? Made him dive to his left and just stroked it in the other corner. Really smart finish. I thought, not to get ahead of myself, but Costa was fantastic. It's probably his best game for Leeds, I thought.
I think I was saying last night to the guys that I watched the game with, it's a different type of game. Championship football is a different type of game to Premiership football. There's more space. There's sort of more respect, I guess, between the two opponents. And Costa thrives on that. He gets the space and he can go past a player. We didn't see that in his seasons in the Championship. So I think we've really got a player there similar to Harrison as well. I think them two will thrive on the space that they'll get. So I
feel like it's definitely a combination of all these different factors colliding. So the increased confidence, the 3rd year with Bielsa, and reading that article in The Guardian the other day about Bielsa's psychology, reading a new psychology book every week, sending positive little clips of all the best things that they do to the players via WhatsApp on the morning of a game or the night before. They must just get this incredible boost in confidence every time. But it's also the lack of time that you get in the Premier League. So everything's more instinctual, isn't it?
What do you reckon Sam Allardyce sends to his players on the WhatsApp group chat? Like pictures of his kebab from the previous night, or pints of wine.
Does anybody know a good escort service?
Are you asking, or is this?
This is Sam.
Different gravy.
Sam, three bottles of wine in on a Sunday night,
lads.
Just reading some of the Liverpool sites talking about us. It's great. Spelling leaves a bit to be desired.
The tweets that they put out before the game have been hilarious. Imagine putting Bamford on, thinking that he's going to score against us.
I like this one, but Bielsa's game style is notoriously difficult to play against, and Leeds chase Liverpool players around the pitch like a pack of rabid dogs. Rabid dogs.
Hey, looks fast. This guy's foaming at the mouth.
They're chasing us like a pack of rabid dogs.
Sad story, really. He chased us like a pack of rabid dogs.
Cue all the terrible accents.
The accent I got it from. I've never been able to do a Scout. I still really can't. But I've never been able to do any sort of semblance of a Scouse accent until I went on a magical mystery tour in Liverpool. And it takes you all around the place. It's really good. You go to Penny Lane, you go to Strawberry Fields. And he gets to this hospital. He just leans into the mic and goes, "It's a well-documented fact that John Lennon was conceived in the back kitchen of that house." It's just two phrases that are just perfect in Scouse.
I remember something there was on TV. It was like, calm down. And that's my little
Harry Enfield on it, yeah.
Phrase into it. These lads are trying to do a Liverpool accent and it sounds terrible. Yeah, I know it sounds terrible.
How many of these podcasts are there now where they've done a really shit Liverpool accent? It's 25 now. Somebody tweeted that. Did you see it? There's going to be 25 podcasts by the end of the season. So I'll retweet it.
You're going to have to narrow it down, lads. There's quite a few Leeds podcasts now, you know.
You'll never find them.
You'll never podcast alone.
It's been interesting to see how the journalists have kind of they've split themselves into two camps on Bielsa already, haven't they? They're either they absolutely love him or he's overblown. He's not a genius. It's all an act, and it's going to.
Have you noticed it's all the same talking points from 2018? It's all everything that anybody that was covering the Championship said the same sort of things before the game against Stoke. It was like, well, he's coming over here and he's not speaking English. That's disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Then 2 years later, we're promoted and then it's the same talking points from the same sort of crusty old journalists, but they've not covered and watched us in the Championship. So it's the same sort of thing.
Sooner said it full time.
Brexit means Brexit.
There's no way Leeds can play like this every game. It's like, well, there's less games this year and we did it for 48 last season.
That's it. Yeah, there's no way they'll play like this against City. Yeah, we will. We definitely will.
Graham,
we might get kick shit.
Graham Souness, there's no way they'll keep this up the whole season.
Hello, Graham. Well, Leeds.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that a lot of these pundits, Lee Dixon, Jamie Carragher, Souness, you can tell that they've never seen us play. So 2 minutes and 53 seconds, welcome to the Premier League. Here, let me just kick you in the balls. Yeah. 8 minutes, Costa goal ruled out. Definitely offside, but we've got the ball in the back of the net. 10 minutes and 38 seconds, Pablo almost plays in Bamford. So that was the start of Bamford's opportunities. But it was a poor pass from Pablo, and I have to say that he wasn't on it this game.
No, he wasn't. Was he? He's not his usual creative self. But I think at that point there, from that chance, that breaks from us having 7 players behind the ball, and we win the ball in our half, and then that counter attack is so quick, and that's what's going to be our strength, I reckon.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was good to see.
So, and then the next time we attack, it's KP's long ball to Jackie Harrison, and he scores. 13 minutes. Klich with a brilliant interception and a bad through ball. And if that had have gone right, if he'd have just played a half decent 15-yard pass, we'd have had a 3-on-2.
Yeah.
A minute later, Ayling did a bum slide breakdance I've got here on my notes. Do you remember that? To block Mane and win a goal kick.
Yeah.
Just before that as well, I saw that we pressed them that high. I think it was after that chance with Klich. We pressed them that high that it caused Alisson to kick it out. And his ball was out in their half.
They didn't look. They looked so shaken by us pressing them that high up the field.
Yeah.
They were like, "Woof, hang on a minute, this isn't Blackpool. We've got a game on our hands here."
I think though a few of their players expected it to be like a cup game, as in there would have been a division's worth of quality between the two. Even though I think Klopp did respect us, especially with his team lineup that he picked. I think a few players I think, this is a walk in the park, and I nearly said it with a Scouse accent, a walk in the park. But no, they definitely tried with that. And then I think when we hit them on the bounce a couple of times, that's when they look shaky because they're like, "Oh shit, what do we do now?" It's good to see. Really good.
Any other game?
I was just watching it going like, this is better than getting kick shitless, isn't it? It's fucking great.
It's better than losing to 10-man Wigan, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what a contrast.
But any other game, I would have been, editing Ayling doing the bum slide breakdance to some sort of 80s hip hop. But there's just been too much going on. On the 15-minute mark, we were almost in again, but Pablo's cross wasn't accurate enough to Bamford. It's headed out. And then 30 seconds later, Liverpool go up the other end of the pitch and they get a goal disallowed for offside. And 15 minutes and 30 seconds in, so they've had basically 2 chances if you count the penalty.
Yeah.
And we've had 5 situations where we've been attacking their defenders, and if we'd have got it right, we would have been in every time. And
but I think that their offside goal though could be a danger for us because we were playing that high up the pitch. It's lucky that Mane was offside, because if he wasn't, that is a really crap goal to give away.
Yeah, it was Robertson, wasn't it? And Meslier ran out, and then he, instead of sort of whacking it out, booting it into Rosette, he sort of gave Mane quite a nice little pass. There you go, mate. Can you chip it from that far?
Yeah. It was an accurate shot, to be fair.
It was.
Yeah, they looked dangerous every time they got the ball in the final third. It looked, well, I got scared every time they did, and I didn't feel that at all last season, really. But yeah, they're a serious team. Well, the champions of England, are they? Really? Can't really expect much more.
But they will be talking about that Klopp team for decades to come. I'm sure of it. Yeah. But Salah was just. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, he's a special player. Yeah, I mean his goal with jumping ahead, but when he put it in a postage stamp in the top corner. You could have 5 keepers and they're not getting to that. Yeah. Even though Meslier was very, very close to getting a finger to it, I think it'd have taken his hand off if he'd have got any closer. I'm glad he did.
He was really well placed, and it was literally just that postage stamp in that top corner. No chance.
Yeah,
that's the difference. Isn't it? That's the world classness of.
I think the one point for that goal though is that if Koch hadn't been caught for that handball earlier, I think he'd have made a bit more of an effort to get in the way of it. Because you see in the replay that he's got his hands behind his back and he's really concerned about that. And then doesn't get in the way of the shot, which I think in slow-mo, it's a bit harder to criticise in slow-mo because what's happened and you're seeing over 30 seconds happening too. But yeah, I think that's definitely on his mind.
It's just that intelligence in Salah. He saw that everyone was going with the crowd towards that ball that was crossed in. If he just steps a few steps back and that ball could come to him, and it did, and it's a fantastic finish.
It was an issue. That goal highlighted a big issue for me, which was second balls. Now, I know that, I mean, I don't know, but I imagine that Bielsa doesn't do a lot of second ball training or set pieces.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
I think there were a few little instances where you could have said, I mean, not all the time, but Meslier coming out and passing it to Mane, that I think you could in that situation say, put your foot through it, son.
Yeah, there are moments, aren't there?
And then just on set pieces, when we've got four guys going for Van Dijk, because we're in a panic and he's just scored a fantastic goal, like fantastic towering header, and we think, oh no, here we go again. The problem was that it was Salah, Wijnaldum, and Henderson were all free for that second ball, waiting for that knockback.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something that we can work on a little bit. But really, Bielsa's never really cared about set pieces, and
there's nothing pure in that, is there? There's no purity to set piece play.
No.
There's a clear tactic though with Liverpool with the corners, because they would always get in the way of Van Dijk's marker.
Yeah.
Literally, Koch was blocked. We got the joke out of the way, but twice. So one for his goal, and then second when it was disallowed. And it was a clear tactic that we didn't pick up on the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they've definitely drilled that, and that's definitely on purpose. Like Cara said, it wasn't, but it fucking is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that their goal when Van Dijk scored, and I don't know what Meslier's positioning was about with that.
There was a couple of them, but that one that was disallowed in the second half was a bit weird as well. He was in the back of his net, kind of stumbling around. I didn't really know what he was doing.
Don't know.
But it's difficult to react.
I think he's our best keeper. So
yeah, he's definitely our best keeper. It's difficult to react sometimes to the flight of the ball. He grew a little bit in confidence as well. You can see, I think it was in the second half, but there was a corner and it came in, and he sort of commandingly punched it out. And I feel like we will see more and more of that, and certainly when it's in his area. But what I thought Koch should point out that it's pronounced Koch, and you use the H as in from the word home. So we do understand that that you pronounce it like that.
So Koch.
Yeah. That's you're definitely going to get your Liverpool accent out with that. Koch. That's how you pronounce it.
It's pronounced Koch.
What do we think to him though? Overall, like he's Ben White's replacement, and we're never going to be able to see what Ben White would be like for us in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if Cooper comes back, you replace Koch, because out of the two, I think Struijk had a much better game than Koch did. But he's only had training for 3 days or so, something like that. He's definitely going to be a standout player. He needs that tutelage and he needs that training with us before he's going to be properly ready. Yeah. Same with Rodrigo.
I want to see him. I want to see him on his marker. I want to see him pushing him a little bit, getting in his face.
There was a couple of moments. There's a couple of moments in the second half, especially that he's got a turn of speed about him. He can keep up with. I think it's Mane who's chasing him down the line. He's got some legs on him, that boy.
Chasing him like a rapid dog.
Yeah, it's a rapid dog.
I thought he was fantastic on the ball. I thought he looked very composed. I thought all his passing and all his in possession play was very, very good. He also made a couple of interceptions. I don't think you can't blame him for the goal. If it ricochets off a part of your body and goes into your arm, then there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
There's nobody getting out of the way of that. And unless you are putting your hands behind your back while you're playing forever, that you're going to be given away from that. And I think if that's...
How are you going to run like that, though?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If that's a legitimate penalty, that is a tactic now. If you are anywhere around the box, just kick it towards somebody's arm.
Just smack it, yeah.
And there's, you've got a high percentage of getting a penalty. He's just got to catch up. I think that's all it is. He's not far away. It's not like seeing an half-broken Augustine come on and amble around the field a bit. Both of them looked they've got the potential there. So.
Yeah, I want to talk Bamford.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a funny 15 minutes, didn't he?
Bamgod.
That through ball that, Bamgod. It turned out to be Bamgod. But yeah, the first one where he looked hesitant to use his right foot and then ended up trying to go around the keeper and it kind of broke down. But then the ball over the top after that, just hit it first time, right foot, chip the keeper and it was in.
It's like Harrison. The less he thinks, the better he is.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he could have, if he hit it first time, and that first chance, if he's hit that first time, he's got a high chance of getting at least on target.
Yeah.
But he's tried to take it around.
And there was players charging in for a rebound as well. If Alisson had made a save and parried it somewhere, it keeps it alive rather than trying to take it around him and knock it in with your left. Yeah. Just smack it.
Exactly.
Yeah. When in doubt, Paddy, give it a bash.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I thought he had a really good game. I thought he put himself about. All the defenders knew he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he learned from that. He learned from that first 1-on-1, and he thought,
"Yeah,
right, I'm not going to try and go around Alisson. Just going to smash it." And he did well. I thought he did very well off the ball. He really put himself about, and I think he did better than Rodrigo did.
Yeah, Rodrigo was a little bit anonymous. I think that the most he did was give away a penalty to make sure we lost.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, wasn't it? That.
Yeah,
really I also think Paddy's very good in defending corners and defending set pieces. He always seems to be on the front post, and he's always getting his head on it. Yeah,
we've not had that since Becchio, and he is a really good defender. And he's got the legs to chase it down as well. If he gets a decent clearance from it, he can run after it and put some pressure on straight away.
Yeah, I thought he was unlucky to come off at the time.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't really deserve to come off. I thought maybe it's just the fact that he wants to see what Rodrigo can do, and we're very much in the game at that point, so why not? Yeah. But yeah, I would have left him on.
The one thing that frustrates me about Bamford, and it must be tactical from Bielsa, is that he's always ending up on the right side. So where you want your centre forward to be is in the box to receive the cross, but it's Bamford that's there to get that cross in. It baffles me. I mean, I'm, like I said, bare little brain. I don't understand XG, but I would expect my centre forward to be in the box ready to receive the cross from the wide man. But it seems to be Bamford more often than not that he's there to do it. So.
Yeah, there was a moment in the first half where him, Hernandez and Ayling just kind of all got in each other's way, just over by Andy Robertson. It's like, one of you get in the box, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I mean, more often than not, he's being used in a similar, like a hybrid false nine. So his positioning is moving the defenders around as much as anything. Yeah. So that's why he's being used in that way. That's why he crops up in unusual positions, especially on the wings or deep in midfield. But hopefully that drags defenders out of the way and that leaves spaces in behind for Harrison and Costa, for example, or Ayling.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not the salmon rising at the far post to get a header in from across either. They're quite small, really, compared to Bamford.
They're not Lee Chapman.
No, there's no Lee Chapman there, is there? No. Nobody's going to play with a broken arm, are they? Let's be fair.
Is he available, Lee Chapman?
We can see. He's been back once, hasn't he? We can get him back again.
Why not?
Didn't go quite as well that first time back, did it?
He was wearing that shirt that you've got on, Ross.
He was. Cursed.
But the Bamford 1-on-1, it was a brilliant ball from Ayling, and I thought Ayling had a fantastic game.
He did, yeah. He really did. Nutmegging Mane at your own corner after being off the field, probably about 5 yards off the field.
Yeah.
He's just unreal confidence, and I hope to keep that up. I hope this result hasn't knocked that confidence, because that will get us points this season, that sort of stuff.
Well, Mane was their outstanding player of their season last year.
Yeah.
African Player of the Year.
I mean, he did nutmeg Ayling as well, and a lot of Liverpool fans have reposted that clip as like, this is a highlight of the game. It's like, have you not noticed that a player that was in the Championship last season did the same thing to that guy minutes earlier?
Yeah, but he nullified that threat, and I thought he did fantastically well. I thought Dallas was very unlucky to be pitted against Salah, because Salah was on fire yesterday.
Yeah. Dallas made 7 tackles at half time. That was like the most anyone have made at Anfield for like an entire season or something like that. And yeah, he had the worst task of the whole game trying to mark Salah, and Salah's got a hat trick. But I don't think none of it's down to Dallas being bad. I thought he was one of our better players yesterday. He did what Stuart Dallas does.
Yeah. So at half time he had 7 tackles, and the entire Liverpool team had 6.
Yeah. He was a busy man.
I mean, overall, not to kind of give an overall thought already, but I think that shows us that we're not going to struggle, or we shouldn't struggle with what we've got. I mean, we've been saying, we've only brought 2 people in, and, where's the rest of the recruitment? But take them, the starting lineup, you take Koch out of that, that's a championship team that played in the championship last season. It's not like Villa going up and buying 11, 12 players like they did. It's not. There's been no wholesale changes. They are the guys that finished last season, and they gave the champions a proper game.
I think that continuity, is vital. You saw from the Klich goal that I think was it Costa played him in. He knew exactly where Klich was making his run, and he just put it on a plate for him.
Yeah,
well,
that first touch as well.
Strap's never started a game at centre back.
No, it's not.
He looked fine, didn't he?
In his first
he was a bit shaky
career.
to start with, but
yeah, he lost his man a couple of times. I think, like you said about Koch with starting positions. I think Struijk also struggled a little bit with that, but it's quite assured after that. When he settled in, he looked the part. It looked really good.
Yeah, he looked good out of possession, I would say. He did lose his man at times, though. I did notice that, and often like caught in two minds. So when he had two players running at him, I mean that's the same with any player. But so when one Liverpool player lost their man, and so they were running at him, he did have problems like either going with his man, or closing down the guy with the ball. And he did end up a couple of times in no man's land, like in two minds.
Yeah.
Who's to say Cooper wouldn't have had those same problems, or anybody? But speaking of tackles, we had 33 tackles against Liverpool in that game. And that's the most versus Liverpool across the last 5 seasons.
Damn. Just shows how easy they've had it, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just shows, I think, how much we want it, how much we're willing to work, how hard we're willing to work, and that passion, that's what a tackle is. The tackle's like, no, you're not having the ball, I'm having it.
Yeah.
That's our
We've
ball.
kind of got to play a little bit of devil's advocate, though, and some of the talking points from Liverpool fans and Cara is that Liverpool weren't at the best. What do you guys think? Do you reckon that's a fair argument?
I think that is fair. Like, they weren't made to look like this last season. I think it could be the fact that it's the first game of the season and it's mainly the same team, but there's that pressure now of having to retain the title. And Old Red knows himself that was the hardest thing you could do. It's easy to win it. It's much harder to retain it, and there's that pressure now.
I watched a lot of Liverpool the last couple of seasons, just because I think Klopp's a fantastic manager. I like the way they play. But I don't think they've been their best for 6 months.
My Liverpool supporting friends have said that they were lucky that they got so many points at the start of the season last year to wrap the title up before lockdown, basically.
All the way up until the Atletico Madrid game, I thought they were basically the best team in the world, and they're probably never going to lose a game ever again. and then after that cracked them a bit, I think, psychologically. And I don't pretend to be any kind of an expert, but they definitely didn't look the same after that. But even though they didn't play well, they still ground out a lot of results. And I think that's what they did yesterday as well. But I do think they played better than I have seen them play in a long time. Yeah. And if you're getting the most tackled that you have done in a game of any game for the last 5 seasons, then that's bound to have some kind of an effect on you.
Yeah,
it's going to throw you off your rhythm slightly.
The tackles also show that it's not an error, is it? I mean, if you're getting in a position where you're taking the ball off another player, it's not that they've made a mistake usually. So yeah, I mean, it's shown that we have worked them quite hard there. I just wanted to make sure that we're not discounting that point of view, because there is a chance that they're not at the best, but they've had the same sort of preparation that we have. They've had internationals out, we've had internationals out, and we've lost as captain. So yeah, I think it's fair, a fair playing field, basically.
Yeah, I think if you look at the game versus Arsenal last season in the Cup, we were in a bad moment at that time. Like, we were in a bad run of form.
Yeah.
I think. Is that right?
So Bielsa isn't it? A bad moment.
Is it?
Yeah, it was the start of that little wobble, wasn't it, after Christmas?
Yeah, I feel like it was. And then we had a fantastic 45 minutes and we fell away. Against Liverpool yesterday, we had a fantastic 80 minutes before we fell away. And I think the last 10 minutes they pinned us down, and I think they probably did deserve to get something out of the game on the basis of that last 10 minutes because they created so many chances, and it was some last-ditch defending in the end from us. But at the same time, without the help of VAR, then they probably wouldn't have been in that position.
I don't think they'd have felt hard done by if they'd have drawn that.
No, definitely not.
We feel hard done by that we've lost that, and I don't think they'd have felt hard done by if we'd have drawn. So I think that shows the level that we're at, really.
Yeah. Agreed. I think, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because before the game, we all predicted we'd lose or get a draw at the most, a low-scoring draw, and then to come back 3 times, and then you lose to another penalty that was slightly suspect. It's disappointing, but I said to my dad on the phone after the game, like, I'm disappointed that we've lost 4-3 to Liverpool in our first game back after 16 years, and they're arguably the best team in the country, when 4 years ago, I couldn't give a toss if we lost to Brentford or someone, because I hated Leeds and I hated football that much because of what they'd done to me. But now it's like, well, this is all right.
It's kind of like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, in the last 92 games at Anfield, 8 teams have scored 3 goals.
Wow. Some going, is that, innit? Some going.
Yeah,
but it'd just be Leeds for us to perform like that and then to lose to Hull and to Fulham.
We're definitely losing to Hull and Fulham. Fulham for sure. They're going to thrash us. Mitrovic hat-trick. He's going to be diving.
Did you watch them against Arsenal? They looked all over the shop against Arsenal.
Mitrovic overhead kick, and he'll be elbowing Patrick Bamford in the same movement. Bang! Bang!
He's going to have to find a new target, isn't he? Because Ben White's not there anymore. Who's he going to elbow this time? Yeah, Bamford.
He's not been playing him though, has he? Did he play him last night?
He came off the bench, second half, and had like their one shot goal.
I mean, I'd be happy if we had the 4th worst team in the league, if I'm honest. So anything better than that is a bonus to me. We've had people say top 6 and Europe, and some critics were saying that they've seen Leeds fans saying that we're going to qualify for the Champions League. I haven't seen any Leeds fan do that. Maybe it's who I follow, but I haven't seen any Leeds fan seriously say that. I'm not even in a joke.
I'm just incredibly proud of that game yesterday. I know a lot of Leeds fans said that on Twitter, but I couldn't be prouder of that team. That was the team that were mid-table in the Championship under what's his face, Heckingbottom, and they've just done that to Liverpool. I know we lost, but
I think that shows the value of a good coach, doesn't it? I mean, like Chilino was always saying that your head coach is basically somebody to look after the team and take training and stuff like that. And it's clear to anybody that it's much more than that. You bring in a good coach, you pay them the amount of money that they deserve. He brings in his disciples that he pays out of his own pocket, which I think is crazy. And it shows you the difference he's made to them players. There's not one player that he's had for a decent period of time that he's not improved.
Bring in the best watermelon you can.
Yeah,
that's it. Premium watermelon. This is a Waitrose watermelon.
The video footage proper freezed up, and Ross, you had the strangest look on your face. It's gonna be fantastic. You look like fucking zombie.
Good.
So like this.
Right. That was the look he was going for.
Yeah.
Better than your resting face.
Oh, thanks, mate.
It's terrible. I'm sorry.
I quit. I'm out of it.
Yeah, I think other bits to mention is Phillips' free kick. That was not far away at all, and that would have been sweet for that to go in. That would have put us ahead.
I was on my feet. I was on my feet. I ended up near the window over there, just my head on the window, going, so close.
But yeah, I think, and the last thing I think I wanted to mention that I noted down after about 4 pages, their pen, the last pen, so which Rodrigo gave away, terrible foul. But if you look at the replays, he's also massively bothered about handball.
Yeah,
he's got his hands behind his back, and I think that rule and that penalty giveaway has cost us 2 goals. Because the first one, they've incorrectly applied the rules. And then the second one, our player's been so bothered about getting caught by the same thing that he's put a crap foul in. It's a really poor challenge. So I think we've been robbed basically, and the FA's screwed.
Yeah, we were robbed, but you have to say, I mean, I don't know how you guys felt before the game or going into it, but I had absolutely no idea how we'd perform, and they blew my mind with how well they played.
I kept jumping between we're going to get beat about 4-0, and then the optimist is like, we could nick it. It could be a really tight 0-0, and then 94th minute we get a winner. It goes in off Bamford's arse or something like that. I didn't in any way predict that we'd play like we did. I couldn't see that. I couldn't see us scoring 3 goals at all.
I thought we'd try to play the way we played, the way Bielsa plays, but I didn't think we'd be able to. I thought Liverpool would overrun us.
Yeah.
And the fact that they haven't has given me so much confidence that there's teams in this division that we can just overrun completely.
I mean, I think it's had the same effect on a lot of people because we're now evens to stay up.
Wow.
So
I predicted we'd win 3-2. But always when I make those predictions, I'm always going to be optimistic. That's always going to be the final view I've got. But yeah, I was exactly like you, Alex. I was switching between we're going to get absolutely battered here and it's not going to matter. Or we're going to win. But I didn't think it was going to be tight at all. I know that Liverpool's defense are not fantastic, and now they're trying to play this high line like Bayern do, and it's just I'm not sure it's working, especially against quick players like Jackie Haradona. Am I saying it right? That sounds weird.
But the thing is, we have
Costa.
quick players.
Yeah,
that's alien to me for the past the amount of years that we've watched, and we've had no pace in the team whatsoever.
The Tong, Norris, Pugh, Brown midfield.
Yeah, just classic. Going to get that printed on a t-shirt.
Tong and Norris and Pugh.
just a beige t-shirt. But yeah, that's the pace that we shown, like Harrison, Koch, all the team. Probably Phillips in the paces, but oh my god, if you gave him that ball and he puts that ball over to Harrison for his goal, it's pinpoint. And I think Southgate needs to watch that, and that's the value of having a solitary anchor rather than trying to have 2 people to do the same job. That is what he does. That's the value he brings.
Three people.
The
other night. Dyer on the pitch as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Dyer just not giving the ball to Phillips at all. It just didn't exist.
Have you seen the clip someone's put together of Rice's highlights from the Newcastle game? Oh my god, Alex, you're gonna love it. It's so bad. It's so bad. Every single time he gets the ball, it's just like he either hoofs it up the pitch to give it back to Newcastle, basically, or misplaces his pass, or misplaces a tackle. It's just terrible. It's everything. It's a horror show.
Yeah. And I think that it shows that as well, for Phillips' performance as well. It shows that why he's selected. People were saying, no, he's not kicked a ball in the Premier League. Declan Rice is above him, stuff like that. No, no thanks. He's way above. I mean, I am biased because, like, when he got called up, it felt like it was one of my own kids that got called up, and I don't even have any kids. So I can only imagine that's what it feels like. But it shows there that he's at that level, and obviously Southgate's seen it. And all the Villa fans that are like, oh yeah, Grealish hasn't been picked because the rule was that you don't kick a ball in the Premier League. Grealish is not at the same level as Phillips for me. And they don't play in the same position, but then he's not at the same level. Grealish probably could do a job for England, but he's not got the same potential as Phillips for me. Sorry, tangent.
I don't know why they haven't picked Grealish when the rule was that he couldn't kick a ball in the Premiership, and then you can't get into the England team.
It's a terrible accent. Now we're going to have all these Villa fans going,
oh, he's bloody these Leeds, man.
Yeah.
You need to wrap this up now, mate.
Before we have to put a sign up like, sorry, Birmingham. Like, sorry to Bournemouth when we trash the place.
Sorry to Liverpool.
Apologise to Dave Benson Phillips.
Apologies to the Magic Mystery Tour.
Yeah.
Just apologies to the Premier League. This is not going to stop. We're back now.
Yeah, the thing is as well, we have saved ourselves from being absolutely insufferable because if we'd have nicked that, everybody in the world would have hated us. We would have been insufferable for at least the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now with those
Didn't beat Liverpool though, did you? No.
now with those plucky triers instead of those.
Yeah. I think we will build a lot of neutral fans though from stuff like that, and I don't like that at all. I want to be hated.
No.
That's just how it is.
They should hate us, not like us.
Right. Well, we've gone way off track here. So that was
Sorry.
that was the Liverpool Leeds match review.
Plus extras.
50% match review and 50% terrible accents and tangents.
50% match review, 30% I'm not racist, but 20%.
That's getting edited out. Oh God. That's definitely a blind alley. I feel like we need more structure to these things. That was the Roaring Peacock match review. Liverpool 4, Leeds United 3, VAR 1. We will be back on Friday for the main cast, and you can catch all of our podcasts by subscribing with your local podcast player, probably in your pocket. That's pretty local. And you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook for some pretty dodgy and average tweets, to be fair. Thanks for listening. Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. You should probably give them a follow as they're more interesting than us. A very special thanks to Adam Elliott, Adam Warner, Barney Stewart, Cookie, Ed McIntyre, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon, Nige and Rob, The Light Show, Jim Stringer and all our family and friends.
Should have said no, but I didn't think that you'd mind. It's just a bit of fun, a little bit of make-believe. I should have said no, but I couldn't ask you to leave. Rummaging around in the depths of your pocket, rockets and the door says I'm ready to go. Rolling up and down like a plate tectonic, yeah. Running for the cap, I grab my keys, but she pulls me back. She's got her legs around my waist, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. Every time I try to go, she's got another trick right up her sleeve. I should have said no, but I couldn't ask her to leave. Rummaging around in the depths of your pocket, rockets and the door says I'm ready to go. Rolling up and down like a plate tectonic, yeah. Rummaging around in the depths of your pocket, rockets at the door says I'm ready to go.